Yeah, let you guys say allegedly.
Karaoke night?
No, we're not doing karaoke night. Okay,
We need
we can
it.
start.
All right.
Start over.
All right, hi everybody. This is my channel. We're gonna do a little quick podcast. Well, I don't know how quick it's gonna be, but yeah. So to my left.
Hey y'all, I'm Avizai.
Why are you laughing so much? All right, towards my right,
It's William.
William, and then towards the other camera we have.
Vanessa
AB.
and Melissa.
She forgot her name.
Hey, but you can call me Melly.
All right, so we got a few questions, and I'm gonna start with the oldest person, which is William.
Okay.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So, what do you do, and what do you do for church as well?
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
occupation, and then
Occupation? Yeah, crazy. So, I am a software engineer. So I work in finance. So yeah, usually my days are around going working in the bank. I also work remote, but on some days. But that's what I do. But here at church specifically, I do the same thing with media. So everything regarding with slides, lights, everything electronically. I have some involvement in that. So that's just passion, what I like to do. So yeah, that's all about me.
so also he's single. So he has a 401k.
Yeah.
You gotta sign a prenup.
You gotta do that
NDA.
first. All right.
You got health insurance.
Of course.
Full coverage.
Full coverage.
No,
No, there's another car, bro.
just like a
Wait.
Or you can just
Yeah.
cut this.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I was just gonna cut it and then we have some technical something.
Difficulties.
difficulties.
That's the word.
Yes.
Yep. Okay. All right. Quick
Somebody
question.
enter?
What was the hardest thing that you dealt with during
about
life?
them, right?
Yeah, I'm going.
Okay.
I'm going towards you, and then we're gonna go with
We're
everybody
attacking
else.
you, bro.
We're attacking me.
Yeah.
Why am I being
We're all gonna
interviewed?
go against you. Right
Crazy. You hate me because you ain't me.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
But the question is, what's it called? What's the hardest thing that you've been through?
been through?
Yeah.
Wow. Already to the deepest question.
Absolutely. People want to know.
I guess. Boy, give me like a day.
Like, let me
To
think. Let me
about.
We need like
You
a
should-
week. We need a week to think about
I
it.
gotta go back each year and be like,
I gotta really think about it.
I gotta really think
All
about
right.
it.
All right, we can move on, and then we can come back to you.
We'll get back to your question.
Yeah,
We'll circle back.
Yeah, we'll
Bookmark.
circle back. We'll
All
get
right.
back to you.
Well, we'll go with Mane.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Well, aren't you the second notice?
Yes, I
Yes.
am.
Yeah, we're
Okay. So,
Yeah.
question?
Yeah. What do you do and like for work, and then
Mm-hmm.
what do you do for church?
Okay, so for work, I am a receptionist. And for church, I am a barista in the cafe.
She makes some fire cafe.
Yes, I do.
Lead barista.
Yes, that is true.
All right.
Mhm.
Okay. We should have done some questions beforehand.
Yes.
We'll carry on, and then we'll go with the deeper questions later on.
Okay.
All right, Mr. AB.
My name is AB. I am currently a crime scene investigator working with the sheriff's office. Also, with my wife, we are part of the worship team.
Give them un aplauso para ellos.
Woo! We're in the worship team. We've been there for ever since 2016, and we're right now starting to work with the youth.
All right, Melly.
Am I supposed to look at the camera?
You don't have to.
You don't have to.
Okay.
You don't have to.
Okay.
Don't be looking at their soul like.
Yeah.
Okay, so hi, my name is Melissa, but you can call me Melly. I work with my mom. I clean houses, and I am the worship team. I am a singer, and I am also, as my husband said, working with the youth.
All right. Now we're going down to the youngest people. You're still older than me.
Okay.
Occupation.
I
forgot. Retired.
Okay, y'all. So currently, I'm currently retired. I retired early, but maybe in a few years I'll go back when I'm at my full strength. So
How old are you?
So I'm.
This economy, right?
Currently,
Stay at home son.
I am retired. I'm a retired physician from. Yeah, just a physician.
And so, what do you do for church?
So I work in youth ministry, and a bit of everything, helping around where I can.
All right. And I'm the youngest one.
Lastly but not least.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's not least.
I'm the youngest one out of everybody, but my occupation is working in construction, basically, but not hard construction. I do insulation, and then for the team, I'm in the worship ministry, and yeah, that's pretty much all of us in a nutshell. Yeah.
We'll be closing this podcast.
Yeah.
Please join us. Please join us next week.
Bye. Intermission.
I want to go with everybody's like, what's the hardest thing that y'all face when working? Like, I would say being a Christian, basically. Like, what's the hardest thing that you had to face, and how did you overcome? Because I feel like some youth do have, or they're going through that, and they just don't know how to reach out or anything like that. Anybody want to start?
I think I can go first. Definitely one of the processes or one of the learning processes that I've been encountering has been definitely the trusting process of trusting God. There's been times in my life where I'm like, should I really be here? Should I be doing this type of thing? And there's things that I would want, to grow upon or for myself. And I would say definitely, especially when I started or when I graduated from high school and then I didn't know what to do, went to college, God opened that door for me to go to college. And then once in my last semester, I didn't know what to do. I prayed to God. Next thing you know, the sheriff's office recruiter comes in and I apply for that and I get approved for it, So it was most definitely the trusting God and letting go of the feeling of me wanting to do it by myself and just me handling it by myself. But relying on God has been my number one, struggle that I've had. And even now, there's times in my life, and my wife can agree, where we want to grow or we want something newer for us. And I said, no, but sometimes we don't get it at the time because it's not God's timing, So it's just trusting God and being patient with Him because He puts us in the right time and in the right place, and God will bless us. And He will provide with whatever need. So that's something that I can say for myself.
Yeah. What would you say for the people that still don't know coming out of high school? Because some of our youth are still in high school, but what would you say for encouragement if they don't know?
Definitely don't give up. Don't just go work anywhere and be like, okay, well, I'm getting some money here, and and just live like that. You know what I mean? Most definitely seek out there and put in God's hands your wishes and your petitions. And if there's a career path that you want to go for, then go for it. Sometimes I believe as well that the school system makes you believe that you need to go to college or you need to go to a university to be successful, and that's not the case. You can start your own business. There's a whole different mini routes that you can take and still be successful, and still be out there, not just, be doing nothing and living in your mom's basement or anything like that. You know what I mean? But definitely don't give up. Keep going. Yeah. Keep trying.
So basically finding your passion. There's always something that's you can pursue, especially with me. Like, my passion is recording, editing, and all this other stuff. And currently, I don't have to go to college for it, but I took the liberty to do it so I can get connection with it. Again, not everything you have to go to college for. You don't have to put yourself in thousands of debts for it, especially. Any else want to go?
I'll go next. Just because, we all have different paths in lives. And as an example, I went to college, but before that, I took a gap year right after high school. And I was like, I met with pastor. I talked to many people. I remember having conversations with you, AV, about this. It's like, dude, there was a point where I was this close about joining the military.
He was like one step
I was
away
one
from joining the
signature
military.
away. I did preparation. I lost a ton of weight. I got in shape. And at the last minute, I was like, this is not what I want. And, that decision, I remember that day. It was literally the first day of camp of 2019. That literally was like, I remember that lady Claire was like, this is not for me. And, pray to God about it. And, just the thing with trust, going back with trust, because, I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. I know I like technology, but thing with like what was out there. And, there's a lot of things like you're Hispanic or first gen, like there wasn't really anything to go based off like a model per se. Like I had to do things mostly alone, but not really alone. Like I had like the pastors, I had friends, around people, like just to get everyone's output and then make the best decision that I can. So that's when I enrolled in community college. I went to Wake Tech, and through those 2 years of Wake Tech, I was able to transfer to Carolina and did those 2 years, got my bachelor's in computer science, and now I'm here working at a bank in technology. And that's like one ways, if that was my route, that was like what I like to do, and that was like a way to go. But of course, like for anybody out there, like if you are trying to make your own business, or go to school, go do school for like 2 years, learn a trade. Trades are really useful, or learn, like do something. The thing about is don't wait, do it now, because even if, let's say, you do your business and it fails, at least you won't leave empty-handed. You'll live with experience and with knowledge, and so that the next business you do, it'll last longer. And then if that fails, you keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it, because one of those businesses will actually thrive based off all the years or all the months of past experiences. So don't give up. Ask God for direction, and I had to ask God for direction in my life, and I'm still asking Him today, literally, because I just turned 25, and yeah, party! But I just turned 25, and it's like, I'm still young. I'm still young at heart. Like generally, like we all joke around and we're like, he's like unk status, but compared to like everybody else, it's like I'm still kind of young, kind of fresh. And it's like, okay, sure, I do have a job and I do have this, but of course it's like, what else is it? Do I get more involved in church? Yes, I do want to be more involved with technology and all this stuff, like grow or media team. What else, like, going deeper into God's word, and maybe, go deeper in what He's saying into my life. So just have that in mind. Like always, like chase God first. Yeah, chase God first. Trust in Him, and trusting Him is the hardest thing to do, because like you're gonna be like so lost, but you feel like you're taking a step backwards, but in reality, you're going to be 2 steps forward. So yeah, just keep that in mind.
That's very beautiful what you said. Like it's very,
very encouraging.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, snap.
Snaps.
Anybody else want to go? Like, what's the hardest thing that you faced through being a Christian, basically?
Mine was definitely like burnout. I would So my fire was like ignited, but like it would easily like, how would I say it? Extinguish? Yeah, extinguish. And that's like one of my main, if not like my main struggle. Like to this day, I still struggle with it. And like I started my Christian journey, you can say, about 2 years ago. And I've been like very involved with the youth. But I haven't been consistent because of that burnout. So one of like my main struggles is burnout.
So you're still going through burnouts? Like?
No, not as much. Well, not really. Not anymore. Not like how I used to. No. Now I'm consistent.
So how do you not put yourself through burnout?
Honestly, just trusting God. Like he said, that has to do with a lot with mostly like anything really. So just trusting God and trust the process.
Okay. Any of y'all want to go? All right. Well, I'll go, so y'all can think.
Okay.
Yeah. So this was during high school, and one of the struggle things that I've been through was Um, how can I say it? It's like I get too attached to somebody real too quick, especially with high school. I went through with a person I won. I should have never gone. Like God talked to me. Like He talked to a pastor. He was like, I remember going to a youth camp, and then the pastor's like, he was like, I'm hearing a name, and they called a name. Then they called another name, and then they're like, I'm hearing Sammy, and I'm like, no one calls me Sammy. I'm just gonna be here. And then Pastor Bava comes up to me. He's like, Sammy, ve para arriba. I was like, dang. And I go up, and that pastor's like, yo, this person's hurting you. And I was like, and I knew who he was talking about, but he was like, is it your parents? Is it your friends? Is it this or this? Like, he wasn't hitting the ballpark. But I'm like, I know who he was talking about. But I kept entertaining that relationship, I guess. And just long story short, I wasted 5 years. I wasted 5 years. And like, I wouldn't say wasted, but I'm like grateful on the lessons that she taught me. But like, I didn't really trust in God. Like, I put my own matter in my own hands. I'm like, nah, like I can do it without God. And then once I put it in God's hand, I'm like, oh, like He gave me a bigger blessings, bigger opportunities that I don't think I can imagine. And yeah, like it was something that I couldn't just even though I did want to let go of it, I was like, nah, like, I don't know. Have you seen that picture where that little girl is having that teddy bear, but God's like, give me it, but then He has it behind like a bigger bear. It's like that, and I'm just like, why didn't I let go sooner? But that was the biggest thing that I had to face, especially in the time of like high school. And I was still in the worship team, and I'm just like, dude, even though I was still playing, I just didn't know how to let go of something that God gave me temporarily, and it was just that factor. But yeah.
Well, I guess a hard struggle for me was back when I was 21, when my mom got sick. Before that, I was super active in church. I was helping with the kids. I was in the kids ministry, and I was doing that, and so was my mom. But then she got sick. She got diagnosed with vasculitis and end-stage kidney failure. So that like completely turned our life upside down. So it was a big adjustment, and I remember just having a whole bunch of doubt in like church and stuff. It was a difficult time, and just like reach out to my mentors, which at the time were Bob and Susana, but this was before they became the pastores of the church. So they were basically the youth leaders, I think. Yeah. So I was in constant communication with them, and also with like family, like everybody like got close together again. But yeah, it was like a whole bunch of doubt that like crept into my mind, and I got super unmotivated, and like I stopped helping, and I stopped coming to church for a bit there. But I don't know, ever since like last year, I started picking up where I left off basically. I'm not with the kids anymore, but as I said before, now I'm in the cafe since it opened up last summer, so it's been pretty good.
How did you get that reignition, like the fire, basically?
I would say just by looking at others, you know, like having them like motivate me, like inspire me, basically.
So it pushes you, like,
yeah,
like they're going over there, like, all right,
yeah, like I want to do that too.
Gotcha.
Yeah, basically. Okay. That makes me like a follower, I guess. No, I'm playing, but no, yeah, like seeing others, and like I use that like as inspiration. Like I shouldn't just be, you know, like rotting in bed anymore. Like I need to do something. Like I need to like get it together, basically.
Absolutely, yeah. Final person. If you don't have one, then we can move on.
No, yeah. Struggles as in right now, or like before, like in middle and high school.
Anytime.
Anytime.
Anytime. You don't have to go recently, because like maybe you're still learning from it, or like I would say talk about like not too far back, but like not as a kid, but like more like teens, because this is basically like more to like youth, basically, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Maybe people are struggling. What they went through, like, what should we do for college,
Yeah.
or like, what was yours? Burnout. Yeah. And then mine was like relationship wise, and then hers was like just getting that motivation back.
Okay.
And these, I'm pretty sure these are like stuff that youth are going through right now and want to understand why. So yeah.
Okay. I would say in my younger days, middle and high school, I struggled a lot with I don't know if you can say my character, but I guess my temper. Like, I had a very strong, like, if I would get mad, like, I would get mad at, like, the whole world, like, you know? And even though my old church, I didn't really have anything or anybody to rely on other than my parents. My parents have really been a motivation to me. You know, they, even though I was, I guess you can say, like, rebelde, like, they've been there always for me, always treating me nice whenever they really, well, I feel like they really shouldn't have. And, you know, now coming here to Tde, it's like a whole new thing. Like, I love serving. And that's something that I always wanted to do whenever I was young. I just never had an opportunity because my old church just, I guess, didn't have those things as like what we have now, and cameras and, you know, different teams. And now it's like I'm taking an opportunity and advantage of what I didn't have before, and I want to be giving that by working with the youth, and like, you know, everything's just worth it. And like listening to your parents, I always wanted to be like that kid that wanted to go like to parties and whatever, and to be with my friends because my friends are doing it. But my parents were like, no, because you're not like them, you're different, you know. And I'm just like,
What? no, it's just like the thing that came to mind. It's just, that's why I covered my mouth. But like, they not like us. They not like us. That's what came to. I'm just like, bruh, that's what came to mind, and that's why I was like, let me shut up. But
and like, I would just get mad at that. I would be like, well, no, you know, like, I want to be with my friends, like, I want to be cool, I want to be popular or whatever. But I feel like that's not really the point. So I feel like now looking back, and I'm just like, I'm really glad and grateful that my parents didn't allow for me to do that, because who knows where I would have been now. You know, I'm healthy, I'm not doing any drugs, alcohol, or anything. So I would say, you know, listening to your parents, because they...
How did you go over your temper? Because that was something that you did mention.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there are some people that have temper, and like let's say he gets mad at me, and then he's mad at everybody of y'all because I made him mad or something like that. How did you overcome that? Or have you, like, what kind of helped you direct your temper?
I honestly, I just, like, me encerré. Like, instead of like exploding and putting it like fire everywhere, I was like, oh my God, I don't want to continue to keep hurting people that I love, because I hurt my parents, you know, in like a verbal way. And I'm just like, I am done. I'm tired of this. And I gave it to God. I was like, I want to change for the better. And the words that I say that come out of my mouth, I wanted to be an encouragement and like motivation to others. I don't want to, you know, speak death, speak lies, speak, you know, I want to speak life. I want to be different and be light to others. And I honestly just gave it to God.
Amen. What's it called? What came to mind was that you said speak life, and I know there's a Bible verse, and I forgot. Like your words, I think it's in Genesis. Like no, someone explained it, or I think I watched it in a video or something like that. But like in Genesis, like you see that God is like gave Abraham like, hey, like go name these animals. Even though God could have done it, he was showing Adam like, hey, your words are powerful. And I'm guessing, and it's just like with that, it's like what you're taking out on everybody. And I feel like everybody have done that. Like I'm not pointing just at you. I have done it to my own parents, and I don't want to speak for everybody, but like I feel like some of us have done that, and we don't mean it. I guess it's just like once you hit that teenager age, you're like, I want to be cool. I want to be like this. I want to be like that. And then that's kind of like your words have power, and it depends on if you're going to use it for life or death.
Yeah.
And then the second thing was going to be like, I'm guessing your temper didn't go overnight. I would say, because for me, like there were some tempers that I do have that didn't go overnight, and like again, like it's a process. It's not just de noche en dia. You're like, I'm all holy. No, it's really a process where you have to walk with Jesus Christ and build a relationship with Him, and it's not easy. I do say that it's not easy. There's temptations there. You want to throw the first stone at the person that did you wrong, and there's so much you want to do, but at the same time, once you start walking with Christ, sooner or later you'll start getting it. You're not going to get it on the first day, because even with Peter, isn't it Peter that was called cut an ear off or something like that? Yeah. So Peter was the one that cut a dude's ear off, and then later he's like, if someone hits you, give them the other cheek, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep. Jesus himself.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So yeah, it's like he converted, and también with Apostle Paul, he was the one that he killed a lot of people. He killed a lot of like Christian believers that believed in Jesus Christ, and then he went through an experience, and then after that he became one of us. Well, we became with him. I don't know, something like that. And,
I just want to add something too. And like what we heard like from each other, and it's like something that came up with in my mind right now is like, this all is a process, and we all went through something, and it's like not every situation was resolved overnight, and each thing was a process of like, you know, getting close to God, and you know, when either dealing with our situations, right, with like for example, like me going to college and all that, this was like I would say like a year's worth of thing, because at the beginning of like my gap years, like I was dead set like going to the military, but throughout that time and through like either seeking more of God or just talking to more people, like I came closer to an ultimatum, to a question, just like, do I really want to do this for me or not? And I came to a decision. And it's like for everyone, it's like we all go through a process in these struggles, and it's not something, especially for youth, it's like you're not going to get the answers that you want, not necessarily then and there, but it's through the struggle that we learn, that's through the struggle that we need to reach out to Christ. Like every day we have to reach out to Christ, every single day. And through that time that we spend more time, God will reveal to us the answers that we need for that moment and for our times. Yeah.
That's a good one. I also want to add on to something that he said, that like everything is all around like God's timing and like God's will. If he wants it to happen, he'll let it happen. But like one thing that most people don't understand is like, we say, okay, so like God's will and like his timing works like this. Like he'll let it happen, and most people think like the people like, how do I say it? Like we think that the obstacle is like the enemy getting in our way from like for like allowing us not to get like what we want or like what we're asked, but sometimes it's us like taking control of things. So in reality, we're like the obstacle that's in the way from God's like will and like his timing. And that's what happens when we take like control of the matter into our hands instead of trusting God with it.
There's a Bible verse about that. Like, is it Abraham and Isaac? Where Abraham, is it Abraham? Where he had to sacrifice his son?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So Abraham, like, God went to his wife and he was like, hey, you're going to have a kid. Just wait. And they waited for time. And then the wife was like, maybe you have to go with this other person. Maybe you should have this kid with this other person. And I don't know if I'm saying it right. Like, is that how it happened?
Yes.
Because like they try to rush the process of it, and they rushed the process of it, and that wasn't the kid. And I don't know what happened to the kid. Like I have to reread what happened.
He was actually sacrificed.
Oh.
I'm playing.
Cut in half.
Papa, don't kill me.
No. I'm talking
Are you
about
talking about
the
the
other wife.
sacrifice?
No, the other wife. I'm talking about
They were all sacrificed.
Yeah. No, I'm talking about the other wife.
What are you talking about?
No.
The
I'm
sacrifice
getting,
is coming next.
yeah, that's the next part. And then that's when I like again. I need to reread that passage. It's in Genesis, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, Genesis.
Okay. Yeah. Gotta double check. But yeah, like that obstacle. Like some people, they see that obstacle like, oh, like they want to do the shortcut or anything like that, and they're like, oh, I can do this. But sometimes they don't see the consequences of it. And then when it's God's timing, he got his kid Isaac. And then God's like, dude, this person's giving too much love to that thing. Well, to the kid. And it's just like God tested him. And like, God's going to test you one way or the other. Sometimes it's very hard, I would say, because like, especially with me, I'm like, yo, this is the devil's doing this. This is the devil. But in reality, God's trying to strengthen you. And that's what he did. He was like, I want to test your faith and see how it goes. And then they went to the mountain. And he was about to kill his son. And then an angel came. They're like, hey, you prove that you love God. Here's a lamb. Kill the lamb. And they both came down safe and sound. But that's kind of like scripture-wise that came to mind about it.
To add on to what I was saying, there's another part to it. That obstacle that we think that it's the enemy, God will sometimes allow for it to happen and allow for us to go through suffering and pain, because that's when we fall the hardest to God. That's when we realize, like, hey, I can't take this pain anymore. I can't deal with this anymore. Like, I need help. And that's the struggle that I had. And then that's where the part where I mentioned before, like trusting God, because there was things that I wanted. Things were not going the way that I wanted, and I still forced it. And it was through that pain and suffering that I went through. I'm like, I need God. I need Jesus. And that's when we fall back into God's path. I told this story Friday where I got scammed $500, and being a detective, and what it was is I saw a post that one of my friends put. They were like, yeah, I got $10,000. Somebody else helped me invest it, right? And so I contacted that person. I spoke to my wife about it, and
I said no. I said it's a scam.
she said no. Yeah, but I was still at it. Like,
But it's an investment, bro.
it's $500, right? But back in that day, it was $500 we needed. So I took a risk, and when I tell you my debit card was not working, to process the transaction. And I had money in the account. We had money, and everything was good to go. It was just my credit card or my debit card was not working. Right? I tried it like 6-7 different times, nothing. And I was like, all right, whatever. It is what it is. The next day, I still had that in my mind. And I was like, let me try it again. I tried it again. And on the first try, it worked. $500 was sent. I went through the process of all of that, and then supposedly they make a stocking account for me.
Bless you.
Thank you.
She was laughing at you like,
No,
We went through this together.
I was sneezing. Sorry.
But yeah, they made this account for me where it was like,
Oh, they made it for you.
yeah, they made it for me.
Oh.
So
Goodness.
it was like a process where I send $500, invested in Bitcoin. I send that Bitcoin account info to somebody else, and then that's when they do that process. They
What
made an
were you
account for me.
thinking? What were you thinking?
That's what I was saying. Like
it was good
I wasn't
money. Like,
thinking.
yeah,
But like to go through that many people.
but that's usually how the process go.
Yeah.
I mean, I
like,
guess. Yeah.
Because they know,
True.
they know more. Like,
Son sabios ellos.
I know.
Dios es más sabio.
Absolutely.
Yo no tan. I wasn't that.
We read the Bible, it's like, don't invest in Bitcoin.
Literally. No, but anyways, they made the account for me, a stocking account or a stocks account, and the lady that was helping me with that, she was like, "Hey, your money's good to go. You can withdraw the $10,000." I was like, "Sweet, like this thing actually worked." And I saw it there, $10,000 ready to withdraw. I go for the withdrawal, and I get a notification that says, "You need to upgrade this account in order to withdraw money." And the only way that I could upgrade this account was paying an additional $1,000. And that's when I drew the line. I was like, nope. Because I was getting skeptical about it after a while. I was like, yep, nope. Yeah. Essentially, I contacted this person. She was like, no, keep trying. It'll work. Just pay $1,000. And I was like, I ain't doing that no more. So I blocked everything and deleted everything. And I lost $500. And it was a lesson for me to not trust in my own, but to trust in God. Because it was at that point where I knew when the debit card was not working, that should have been the first sign that I needed to stop. I needed to quit. Yeah. We needed the money back in the day. And essentially, thank the Lord, a few weeks later, we got blessed with $500. And it was like a lesson from God telling us, don't do this again. Don't do it again. So we got the $500 back. We were blessed with that.
Pablo he gave me an information, so I'll send it to you, that they do like investments.
Okay.
Yeah. Nice. It's Pablo's word, so like if you get scammed.
If I get scammed, I'm going to charge the pastor.
Yeah.
What's it called? I wanted to go back to the where you said like God allows it, like the test. Read the book of Job. Read the book of Job and see what was taken from him. You see that God allowed the devil. The devil's like, yo, I can test your servant. And he's like, go for it. I know he's not going to do it. I think it's in the book of Job.
It's Job, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, when he goes up to heaven. He says you can do anything with him, but just
not
don't touch his
touch him.
heart. Don't touch his heart.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, like, I know the Bible, but I don't know where it's at, so... Yeah, I know it's in the Bible, but I don't know what's
It's somewhere in there.
It's somewhere in there.
Somewhere
But
in there.
so it's in the book of Job. Please read that if you do go through it's so many challenges.
Is there any specific part that you recommend from the book of Job?
Like again, I just remembered parts of it.
Okay.
Read the whole thing.
Just read the whole Bible. Just read the whole Bible for me.
Just read the whole book, man. It's only like 30 chapters? No, but yeah. No, the book is very good. It's a very informative book. Yeah, because with Job is like Job lost everything. Like he had let's say he had a comfortable life, wife, children, land, and like anything that you can think of today.
Thousands of animals.
And lost everything.
He lost a single thing. But that didn't deter him from praising God. But see, there was moments, that he himself was like, why, God, why? And that's to show us that even in our struggle, it is okay to ask why. It is okay to what's going on, because that's just human we are. We want response, we want answers to the questions that we have. And funny enough, in the book of Job, God doesn't answer his question. He just shows him like the universe. He gives him so he just goes through the animals and shows them, look how great they are. He shows them some beast and says, look at this. And just the main idea is like, basically was like, who are you to like question who I am? Like, I'm the creator of everything. And that, in a way, that is the answer to his question, like why this happened. But not necessarily directly answering, but it just shows that I am God. I am the creator of everything, and everything belongs to me. And the ending of the book, Job gets everything back. He gets everything doubled, even more, triple, like more than what he had in the beginning. And that's, a reminder for all of us, even in our youth, like to remain faithful, to endure till the very end, because what we have in the very end would be worth more than what we have now.
Amen.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
God leads us in positions where we have to like question our faith, and that's like. Where was I going with this? I don't know.
I have no idea.
Where God leads, God provides. So yeah.
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 And it's also to like say like not to necessarily question our faith, but to question where we're at in our faith. Because and I could have shown this too, like I have a perspective of what faith is, but I'm sometimes like so glued to that that perspective that God's trying to show me a different way, and I just won't move. I just won't budge. And with that, like there's some dangers. Like I'll be like hard-hearted, and like I will have this none changes something. Oh, see who that, my boy?
I have no idea.
I'm so scared.
What's me?
Sir, you're the police officer.
It's just.
That's crazy.
Oh.
All right, guys, little teddy break.
Scare me.
I know.
That's scary, guys.
Stay tuned. We're gonna talk about the scary times at church.
On the next episode.
Yeah.
Right? Y'all come back for part
40
2.
minutes, bro.
Already?
No way.
No. What time
Well,
is
let's
it?
go. Let's continue.
2:37.
Yeah.
Barely started.
Yeah.
barely started.
That's what it
No
feels
way.
like.
One question.
Yeah.
We can just keep it at that, but we can definitely do other topics to make it more fun.
The end of the world.
Stop.
All right. Esto que dice la Biblia, el mundo se va a acabar.
Yeah, it's like
Watch
that.
like Pastor, I come over here like what?
We're talking about the end of the world, Leviathan.
She's like, okay.
The yelling, gnashing of teeth. Ooh.
Dang, 40 minutes, holy.
Yeah.
Hey.
Well, guys, that was just the beginning. Let's continue with it.
This is just the intro.
Yeah.
We got another 2 hours. Like,
Hold on, real quick. Let me do a quick inners before let's.
y'all want to do a quick bathroom break or anything like that? Get water.
Yeah,
We can
Yeah.
pause it
I'm
for a
gonna
little
drink
bit and
water,
then
yeah.
Drink water.
yeah.
get fresh air.
Yeah,
Bro, I would have been so mad. Like,
Yeah, so
Oh,
We will cut this out of the cameras, guys.
what?
This is not in the camera.
These are the cameras now.
Oh. Oh, okay.
She's waiting for the cameraman to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, nah. All right, so what's the next question that we're gonna have?
Where are the questions, guys?
the end of the world.
Literally.
Let's do something
We're
cool.
all
Let's
gonna
do something
die.
fun. Let's do let's see. What could we ask? What's something?
Like some
Where's
common
ChatGPT?
Huh?
Common misconceptions.
But we did that last
about the
time.
church,
Yeah.
didn't we?
But it never came out.
Oh, that is true.
It just never came out.
Um,
Yeah.
Yeah.
One
And now we have
of-
2 new people, so
Yeah.
they can contribute to it.
One
So yeah,
of the
that's true.
common misconceptions at church is prayer. I'm totally using my own
I know.
But one thing is like during prayer, you not only have to. It's not. How do I say this? Prayer is not solely about talking to God, but it's about feeling in His presence. So just sit down, just feel His presence, and feel the Holy Spirit talking
This is not ASMR. Please stop.
We're like,
to you. Who got nails? Start tapping.
I'll tell everyone to click off. No, I'm just kidding. Please subscribe.
Unsubscribe.
Subscribe and
Pastor, if you're seeing this, please approve the next episode. Nah, but let's see.
like, yeah, like common misconception is like
Misconceptions.
that's the word. All right, I'm sorry that I'm illiterate, but I would say like
Will this be posted?
talking about. I was sugarcoating stuff. That's also like something that should be addressed for people that they're like, hey, like, what's your thoughts on this or that? And they're like, we don't talk about that because of this. Like it's the diablo.
Because it's kind of like taboo type
Yeah,
of thing.
Yeah.
Like we like don't speak of it unless you want to die or something like that.
Bro.
So
Yeah.
yeah, like they don't want to talk about like what this church is like I can talk to Pablo about deep stuff and then he'll give me like an answer. And also like there's this guy named Cliff. I don't know if y'all what's his last name? Dude.
No, I don't know, but yeah, I know what Cliff is.
Yeah, Cliff, dude. Like even though he doesn't know an answer, he's honest. Like I do not know. I'm just like, not a lot of like people can say that like they're gonna try to give you an answer. So, but they can't back it up with the Bible or anything like that. But like yeah, like I guess like with those like deep questions that youth have, like why can't I cuss? Why can't I not have tattoos? Is it scripture wise or anything like that? Those are like questions that should be like answered. Like yeah. This and this and this. But yeah, that's also
Or like that we have to dress a type of way and like
yeah.
look some
I
sort
know
of way.
that there are some churches that you still have to wear, especially for women, they have to wear dresses. And for guys,
long ones,
skirts,
long ones.
And
then-
nails.
Yep.
Yeah, no nails. You can't dye your hair.
No
you
makeup.
can't make
No
yeah
makeup.
makeup. Nothing.
And then for guys, slacks, suits and ties.
Yeah, suits and
Yeah.
ties.
The suits and ties, but the suits are not even like fitted. They're like
Like
they're like
Oversized.
oversized.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's how you can tell someone's coming from a church if their suits like this. But no, yeah. Another misconception I want to add to that, and this is kind of interesting, is that a lot of youth and especially a lot of people, maybe including myself, sometimes forget that when like chasing God or pursuing God, that I have to be holy, like, or I have to be perfect, or I have to, get right with God per se, like that. Like the idea that, let's say, I'm thinking of someone as a youth, like, oh, let's say like, oh, I'm going to church on a Sunday, oh, I have to not sin. But the focus is like, yeah, sure, like, that's good, don't sin.
It's part of it.
But it's part of it. But to know that, like, realizing that you're saved if you accept Jesus Christ. And the struggle is our salvation, that you don't have to be perfect. Yes, we need to strive to do better. We need to strive, let's say, instead of like cursing as a sailor, bring that down, like work on that. It's always a work in progress. And there's a biblical term called sanctification, yeah. And that's like the process of being more like Jesus. But just because you're a Christian, and it's because we kind of took in this like out of all the proportions that apparently, we need to be perfect. Like, yes, we need to strive to be better. We need to, we heard that, but we need to strive to be better, that we need to somehow be like holier than thou type of thing. But to realize like real faith with God is, you being honest with yourself, myself, that God, I am not perfect. I will fail you basically every single day of my life. But to recognize that, but I will put my trust in you. I will, pick up my cross and follow you. And even though like, I may sin or stuff like that, that I know that in the end of the day, I am saved. And the enemy will use that like, oh, you're not saved. Oh, you're not saved. Oh, look at that. You did your mistakes. Like the devil, the enemy will call you by your sin, but God calls you by your name.
Absolutely.
Amen.
Yeah.
There was especially with in high school I was battling that we didn't have any youth mentors at this time. Because Pablo was becoming pastor. We didn't have anybody like.
I think it was like COVID too, right?
COVID as well.
Yeah.
That was also a factor of it. But it was just like fighting that thing that's like, dude, I keep doing this. I keep doing stuff that I wasn't supposed to do, especially with when I was in high school with that girlfriend that I had at the time. It was just like that. I was just beating myself up because I'm like, dude, I have to be perfect. And then understanding that like I can never be perfect, but I'm trying. Especially with that, Jesus was like that perfect lamb for the sacrifice of my sin. Like once I understood that, I'm just like, I'm not like gonna sin every day and then not like repent. But what I'm doing is just like understanding my sin. Like I did fail at this part, and repenting and turning to God. Not all right. I'm just gonna go and sin until my deathbed, and then I'm gonna like, God save me. No, it doesn't work like that. Like you have to actively keep walking with Jesus and God, and read the Word of God, and that's what kind of helped me as well with being understanding that I can't be perfect, but through that perfectity of Jesus Christ that saved me, basically. Yeah.
Consistency.
Mm-hmm. Doing more and more.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next
Not
question.
giving up.
You
Like
got another question?
another misconception, or
Yeah.
like another misconception is basically like the church is boring. Like
Yeah.
it's not. We do a lot of
yeah.
stuff to make
And
sure it's
like,
not.
if you saw the clip of, I'm gonna definitely put the clip of us just praise and worship. Like we were just literally dancing, and it was amazing. Like it's not all boring.
Yeah.
Why are you so shy?
It's not just you.
She
but-
thinks it is. No, I'm playing.
No, but no, yeah. Like church is not. It's not boring. Like there's moments. We as a church body, I want to say that we need to find ways to not just to be relevant, but to explore different avenues of how can we share the love of others. Like because Jesus, in his time of ministry, it wasn't just in his house or at other people's houses. He was out there in the streets, out there moving, and we should need to emulate that. Yeah, this building that we have, this physical building, is a great place that we can connect and worship with other believers. But but the true Christian life is your own personal life outside of these four walls, and that's where, for example, like our friend group, just going do things like just doing that. Maybe, when we have some hangouts, we pray together. Maybe just do life together, and just involving that as part of Christianity. And maybe you do read maybe some little scriptures, or maybe do something like that. Maybe remind each other about that. But living together. But living life together, like that's what it is. And yes, of course, like we can definitely bring new events to this to the church, and we are doing that actually. Like this church is getting busier each day per se.
Oh,
different
yeah.
events.
We're gonna have to expand at some point, man.
Dude,
We're gonna have to expand.
Side
we
tangent,
need
but let's side tangent into
people.
the expand, dude. We've been growing. We've seen that.
And that's the glory of God right there, man. Right, that's awesome.
I want to get.
Unfortunately, there's been churches where, like, they lose sight of the youth because they're so focused on the seniors that are in there, like the elderly people, and the youth. They don't want to come back.
Yeah, no.
They're not gonna come back. I mean, they don't do events. They don't focus on the youth. They don't do anything for the youth, no classes. So what ends up happening is the youth leaves.
They get disencouraged.
And then the church closes now because they don't have nobody.
Yeah.
And that's the sad part about it, man.
That's they treat it because like with these classes, and I wouldn't say that classes are boring, but in their minds it's like what, school, and so it's like, oh, I just got out of school just to go to school again.
Right.
Yeah.
We're like, no, but that's something that we all have to see what we want to do and grow. And I do want to see. I want to get your opinions. Like, just he spoke about it, but like, what's your opinions about our church? Because it seems that it's growing. Like today's service was packed.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I want to at least get some. What's your perspective, or what do you think? I don't care. Like,
What's the question? Like,
what's your
entire-
perspective?
Yeah, like what's exactly the question? Man?
Oh, so the question would be, is what is your view, or what is your opinions about, or what's the, I will say, what is the future of our church, given that we're kind of seeing a rise of attendance? What do you think? Like, I'll say 5 to 10 years. It could be something.
5 to 10
We're
years.
definitely going to be much bigger than we are right now. Like, definitely for sure. It's going to keep growing. I mean, we have, Pastor has shown so many plans, like for the back. We have so much space back there. So
I
it's
know that
definitely going to be big.
It's gonna be in talks of y'all gonna do 2 services sooner or later. So that's something
sooner or later at some point. We Pastor and I were talking about, maybe sooner or later we're gonna have to expand the church to the sides, or this church was designed for. I don't know if y'all knew already. You probably knew, but you can expand more that way.
Yeah.
Towards that direction. Since we have the soccer field that's work in progress right now, we have this one right here that can be definitely expanded. Make the whole soccer field, the whole
Sanctuary.
yeah,
That's going to be huge.
sanctuary, stadium, whatever the case may
Yeah,
be.
because it was in talks as well that they're gonna leave the sanctuary as like an office space,
Yeah.
if I'm not mistaken. So that was something that was in talks. It's gonna definitely grow into like a bigger posture. I know they're thinking about expanding the driveway
The
parking lot.
Parking lot. Yeah, my bad.
And
Yeah.
and what's crazy is that we are seeing that because, well, look at us. We're starting a podcast. Well, we're having this thing up. Like, this would have been a thing like
there's
year.
a whole cafe, guys.
There's a whole cafe.
Yeah.
So
There's a
guys,
whole,
come on in.
For the
You're
new
invited.
people, you get free coffee.
Yes,
Iglesia
you do.
Tde.
yeah.
Very
Come
good.
down.
Well, I just gotta double check because you're the
No,
one that
it is. It
made
is
someone
free.
pay.
Yeah.
It's free for the
They got
newcomers.
refunded, y'all.
There's been mistakes, but it's free.
It's like how much? What's the starting price?
Like $3.
$3.
Yeah.
Less than us. I don't want to shout out the company.
Oh.
I can't shout
Yeah.
out, but the other copy places.
Very
yeah.
popular
It's
place.
very.
It's very popular, but you know, our coffee's cheaper.
Yeah.
Less than the
It's-
stars in
And
the
it's
sky.
better.
Yeah.
It's better.
Thank
It's
you.
better, actually. You know, it was pretty
It's
good.
less-
Thanks to Vanessa.
It's way
Yes,
better
yes,
than the
yes.
stars in the sky and the bucks in our cash.
Oh, okay.
And the bucks in our wallets.
Awesome.
But
You know,
Nice.
yeah,
that's
and especially I know that I think they're in talks of like doing pequeños amistas again. I don't know.
Yes.
That's what I heard.
That is something that's been in the works right now.
Yeah.
Definitely, we need more people. We need more.
It's a need.
Like more
Need.
musicians in there. You know, we need people that are even willing to learn. You know,
Oh,
we
I
are
thought you were saying Willie like.
I'm up next.
No, we really
We
need,
need
people. Like,
everybody.
yeah, we need. I mean, we only have one bass player. Well, technically two, but
But he just
he's the
doesn't wanna
lead
go
singer right now. You know,
Oh
we have one drummer. Well, you also play.
no, I was talking about Abdiel.
Up
Abdiel?
there,
Yeah.
One in progress.
I need to train him. I need to work with him.
The only thing he needs to work on is like the sequence. It's literally yeah.
Yeah.
We got Benji on the drum.
Benji is an upcoming drummer. Then we got
Angie wants. I know she wants to be in the drums.
drums también.
And
That's
sí,
true.
también.
That is true.
Alan, your little brother, wants to
Yes.
play the guitar.
Yeah.
Oh,
Really?
okay.
Yeah.
Which
Okay.
actually, I'm gonna need you guys' help because he really wants to go buy one soon, and I don't know nothing about guitars.
I think that's Sammy's call.
Yeah,
right
yeah,
there.
perfect guy right there.
Yeah.
Yep,
So.
yep,
But
yep.
dude, like it's amazing to have people like that who are willing, and we need to, you know, I feel like, you know, with this momentum is we have to keep it going. We have to, you know, like find other people. We can't just like, oh, it's growing and just like let it aside.
Yeah.
Oh,
But we have
yeah.
to be involved in that, right? Like, you know, like I would love to have more help at the media side. Like if we're gonna
Oh, yes.
expand, we need a
Yes.
whole like
lyric.
we want to like go
And
live.
you're switching your position, right?
Huh?
Now you're gonna move from the right side to the left side.
Yeah,
right?
we're gonna move like the what's it called, the production, just the video production itself, for the live to the other rooms, and adding, you know, like a separate mix, so you know, so our videos can sound better, and you know, have especially like a translation team, because we also, you know, the bilingual stuff.
Hey, you can get your internships over here. We don't pay, but
Yeah,
you can learn definitely, most definitely.
if you learn, if
Definitely
you
a
want, yeah.
huge learning
Guys,
opportunity.
Yeah.
I'll be leading the translation team, so
Bro,
You're
no.
interested?
Are you really? No,
he
you're
does
not.
know Spanish.
Say newspaper in Spanish.
You're like a no sabo
Literally,
kid.
just pull it.
sorry.
Say newspaper in Spanish.
Don't use ChatGPT.
Huh?
Say newspaper in Spanish.
But paper news.
That's embarrassing.
All right, that's what not to do.
No, but dude, honestly, like whoever's willing, and you don't have to have experience, as they all said.
Yeah,
just
no, no,
like
no.
We're
Like,
all,
Yeah,
we
we're here to
literally
help
learned
you.
from the ground
Yeah.
up, like everything. Yeah, because
Yeah.
with us, we learned it from people before us, and they taught us how to do it, and we're here now. Like,
yeah,
we're learning new things, man.
new
We're definitely
things.
getting that.
Yeah.
And with, you know, with the growing of the church, is that we're definitely gonna need, you know, more people of everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And especially like, you know, with the greetings and just
Absolutely.
and just have all that. Like I've been mentioning the website like I told all y'all like forever, but I promise you it is 90% done.
It's coming.
It is coming.
You've been saying that for like
Once
the
it's
past 2
done,
years.
Yeah.
No, I said
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah, I set the website forever, like 2 years. Like ever since COVID, it's like
Oh,
I
that's
was
been
building
more.
it.
It's been
and
5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was building it and then I
You
trashed
should've
it,
said that.
and then it was like we do this and then not and this and not. But this
Yeah.
time we made a really simplified version of it. It's like literally like it's very simple. It's mostly for like for those people, like mostly for our members mostly. I mean, of course, it's gonna have a link so you can see who we are, but mostly it's for the members of this church who are inside that they can see mostly the events. So we made it really simplified, and then just put it out there, and then once we get the ball rolling, we can get stuff. Because of course, like I was thinking of like, oh, we need headshots of like every department, every leader, stuff like that. But it's kind of hard to coordinate.
Yeah.
But it's like, let's just first keep it easy. Just do that. Pastor's gonna review it tomorrow. I'm just missing. We just need artwork for the announcements, because there's a little section for announcements, and then just like the theme of it, because we're doing good. I have a nice video. I think I showed you the video of the entrance. It looks.
It was clean. Man.
It was clean.
So if you see the link below, he finally finished it. But if you can't, he's still working on it.
Yeah,
so.
actually.
Probably gonna do it 5 years.
5 years later.
Another 5 years. 2030 coming out 2030.
No, because if you go to the link right now, iglesiatde.com, you're gonna right now it just says página en construcción, which just means pages under construction.
Yep.
But it's gonna change very soon. Very soon. Yeah, no,
Very
hopefully
soon.
Almost done.
almost done. I promise.
Página ya mero termina.
Can you imagine I go home and the whole file's like wiped?
Uy,
Cool.
you were para-
It's real. I just had to make sure, William.
Now I got a question for you.
Okay, yeah.
Now
Okay.
since
Yeah.
we're coming up and we're growing, obviously in age and mentally. So
She's so offended. She got so offended.
Yeah. What do you mean, man?
Old like that.
Old? What's that?
We're all so young. None of us
no,
have been there.
essentially we are coming up to becoming the next pastors, next leaders, next leaders of different types of ministries. How can we encourage the youth to serve God, to truly serve God? Now we got a couple of the youth already serving. Like we got Crystal that's already in the worship team. We got some that are in the cafe already.
And
Yeah, but how
cameras.
can we encourage, especially the newcomers that are joining the youth group? How can we encourage them? Like some ideas that y'all got.
That's a good question, because like with these I don't want to name them all, but basically like we've known them through friendships and then like through talks and just like that. But it's like, oh, come join us, because like you've expressed an interest. But yeah, you actually raised a really interesting point about like, what about someone who's kind of shy, someone who's like no habla tanto. How can we really get them? And it's and I'll be honest with you, I don't know. I don't know. It is
You
a
just have
Challenge.
to be super encouraging.
Yeah.
Super like friendly.
yeah.
I wouldn't know what else to say.
When it comes to new people, especially when I get to like, there's one youth that got my attention. He was very shy. He didn't really talk. You remember that little kid? Yeah. He wasn't little, but
Can't remember that small child.
He turned 14.
Yeah, he's not a child. He's a teenager.
He's a teenager. Yeah. My bad. Thank you for correcting me. But that kid, I especially like talking to him, like it was something that he was very hurt. And when speaking to new people, you have to understand they're not gonna give all that, like, I'm gonna trust you right away. Like, I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, like they're gonna engage with me. Usually what I do with them, especially to anybody, I be vulnerable to them. Like I talk about, like we talk about stuff, and then if I can relate to them, I'm like, yeah, I've been through that. This is what happened. This is what I went through. And then through that talk, I'm like, what's your interest? That's when I open that avenue, and then where I can put them out, like, oh, like I love doing arts. All right, let's try to open like a creativity, anything like that. Just giving those basic hobbies that they have, so those people can have an outlet and not have another outlet, let's say in the streets or anything like that. Because it's very easy to fall into like an outlet of drugs or anything like that. So like if we can find an outlet here for them to desarrollar. And I'm not saying come over here and smoke a weed or anything like that, but what I'm saying is like come over here if you have like a talent of doing art or anything like that, or just what are you doing, this dude? Or just like just in general, just like something that you like creating coffee or anything like that, we could help you or anything like that. So yeah, I would say just having that small conversation and then talking, especially with y'all. We're like, hey, where can we put this dude or this person? Because they have an interest in this, they have an interest in that. That's something that can but you also have to have that open conversation with them. That makes sense.
Yeah, I like that. Me personally, my approach, I would like personally like ask them because in that sense, by doing that, you're also like making them feel like wanted, like you want them to do this. But like I'll give them like an option of choices. So like media, cafe. What else do we have?
There's
Worship.
like
The youth ministry.
Worship, the youth ministry,
The
exactly.
greeters.
Instead of just like,
technically, yeah.
hey, do you want to do media with me? Because like, I don't want to put them like on that certain spot to like feel inclined to not say no, and like not it be like
You
forced.
can't say no.
You can say no, no,
Yeah.
no, you're out.
No, for like I understand from your perspective. The only like for me, it's just like asking what their hobby is, and then seeing from that aspect, like, and then talking to either AB or say Avizai, like, hey, like this kid loves drawing. Where can we put him at? And that's something that like having that honest conversation with them of their hobbies. Like I understand from your point of view, like, but I wouldn't give them that option. Like, so you like art? All right, we're gonna put you. Like, I don't have that authority to put him in. I have to talk to the higher ups, like especially with media team. Like I'm like, all right, this kid is very interested. Do you see potential or anything like that? Or like I feel like he's willing to do anything, and that's something that like should be talked about as well. That makes
No,
sense.
yeah. Not necessarily like having the authority to put them over, but like giving them options where like, where I know like departments are looking for someone.
Gotcha.
Like that.
whoa. You good there, Vanessa?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So-
Yeah, I feel like just really motivating them, especially the ones that we have now. Because I know what we talked about earlier, as like, you know, Vanessa said, like she saw somebody, so that motivated her. And with like the youth being shy, I feel like if they see someone doing it and their same age, then they're gonna follow as well. And yeah, just really pushing through, encouraging them, and you know, not giving up on them, even though they're still learning and trying to figure things out as they, you know, they have so many questions, and I feel like we just have to be prepared for it.
Of course.
Sure. It's just being available to them.
Yeah.
You know,
And-
most definitely.
And be like
Yeah.
mentors in a way to them too, just because like let's say in this case that someone will come in and be like, hey, I was interested in media, right? And then later on, like they discover their calling. And it's like I wanna worship. I wanna do worship ministry in terms of like musical. And I'm gonna be like, yeah, sure, go ahead, because that's what you want to do. I'm not gonna keep a person if they doesn't like it. Like just to tell them, it's like, yeah, we're putting you here, but doesn't mean you have to stay here forever. Like if you want to explore different things, you know, because you're at that age that you should be exploring your options. Like explore what you're good at, what you're not good at. Maybe you're not good at a camera, but you're good at singing, or maybe you're really sociable. You're really good with people. Okay, let's put you with the connect group so you can, you know, talk to them. And you know, if you're really good at speaking, of course, like, or really good at like translation, like put you there. Like at this church, we want this church to be a place where each one can be involved, no matter of experience or age, right? If we all believe the same thing, you can serve God, serve the Lord your God, and we want to be that and be open, transparent, and just be that environment for everyone.
That's the new TDE ad right there.
Now I'm gonna throw a dilemma to you.
All right.
Let's say we have someone this is just an example.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, not irrelevant. We have somebody that is willing to or is wanting to play an instrument or sing in the worship team, but we notice that despite many efforts of teaching them and you know giving the resources, they just don't put in the effort. They don't learn. I'm not pointing fingers. I'm not pointing fingers. I'm not. I really am not. I really am not. I promise. But
It just so
Broke the
happens
neck.
to match.
It's just gonna be focused on him right now, so it won't see us.
yeah, I won't see who
Like,
it
this
is.
is a total coincidence.
Yeah, no, it's just a hypothetical question. You know what I mean? Like, no. But what do you do like with, let's say it's a youth that just doesn't get it? You know, like how can you tell them, hey, you just can't do it, man? Like we tried everything, bro. Y nomás no se puede.
Well, I mean, definitely have a talk with them. Try to like figure out like if it's something going on at home or maybe school. Like definitely trying to like find like what's causing. like that
Is
behavior.
Is it also like they're not showing up on time or anything like that?
It's more like it's not really like
or they're not putting like their effort.
No, they are putting the effort. Like
They're just not. It's not clicking. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
They're just not 100%.
Yeah, I get it. Okay.
I said like because not everybody can sing, and they want to sing. What do you do about it? You know.
Auto-tune.
Auto-tune, we just gotta be straight up.
Well, everybody really can sing. You just gotta really put in the effort.
The thing is, for me, and well, especially with my parents, like it's hard criticism, and the thing is, not a lot of people can handle the hard criticism. That makes sense. So, especially in our team, like we dealt with some hard criticism, especially in the worship team. But also, like, it kind of helped us be more efficient. And, like, we grew from that, you know? And we don't take it to heart. That's something that, like, I want to express is that we don't take it to heart. Like, but, yeah, it's just that, like, having that honest conversation, like, yo, like, we see that this ain't clicking. Like, we're going to give you at least a month. If you can't, there's the door. No, I'm playing. You can go to somewhere else. Like, I feel like again, like, I feel like there are standards, but like, does that make sense? Like, we have standards.
Yes,
we do.
There is standards.
Yeah.
I mean, we like as a musician, I wouldn't put just a random person, you know, who thinks they can play the bass and you know,
and they just slap all the time.
yeah, you know, then they're off key and playing the wrong notes and everything. Like, no. There is a standard, and each department has some sort of standard, even if it's talked about or not. You know, there is a certain level where, hey, this is the criteria that you need to meet, and if you can't meet that, man, I mean, it is what it is. Bro.
Yeah.
You just can't be here.
There's other departments.
And I feel like, well, let's say with worship, right? 'Cause like with worship, is something interesting is like, I know your schedules is crazy. Like, you guys practice like once a week. You come here on a Thursday, and you practice, but you also have to practice at home,
Right.
which is like, that is tremendous effort. I believe the worship team is like the hardest working department, just because like musically, like, you guys give results. There's a little plug out here. You guys give results on Sundays, but that's because
Thank you.
yeah, just because like it's not because you just I wake up, I'm gonna go to church today. No, it's because like that work throughout the week, and I feel like for those people like who are interested, it's like they have to see that. They have to see, like, you know, what we do on Sundays. It's not because, you know, Evie decided to wake up that Sunday. Like, it started from Monday. It started on Monday.
Absolutely.
It started
every single day.
It's also like a whole sacrifice, and
Yes.
y'all can say it too. Like, like the times and efforts, especially with events that like women's events or like Christmas event. Dude, we were like, we kind of had the schedule like a month beforehand, and then to execute it, we practiced for like 2 weeks straight.
Yeah.
And those were just like very like it's
challenging, man.
Challenging,
it's
yeah.
absolutely.
It's challenging. And I think some of us, because I know I've been through it at some point. In the worship team, we go through burnout.
Absolutely.
We go through burnout. Like, there is times where I'm like, I ain't gonna do this no more. I don't want to do this. But I still go, right, obviously. But there's just times where I don't feel like waking up, man. Or I don't feel like going to practice. I'm too tired.
Yeah.
You know, and man, it is a challenge. I'm telling you. But there's been times when that's happened. That's like on that Sunday, that's when the Holy Spirit, is on fire. You know what I mean? Like, todo eso, like, vale la pena que tú vayas, that you don't quit. You know, even though you just don't want to do it no more, you know.
The thing that kind of helped me is like, this is all for the Lord, but this is also for the people that are like, we're the hospital. Like, we're treating these people that are wounded.
Yeah.
And like, if we can spark that spirit in them through music, I'm doing my part.
Absolutely.
And that's mostly every prayer that I do before we play. I'm like, this is for you, and let me be like a white bridge with God, with Jesus, letting those people step on me so they can get connected towards you. And that's kind of like, I'm not saying the whole prayer that I do, but that's kind of like what I usually say before we play or anything like that.
Right.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
It's really all sacrifice.
Yeah. It is
Sacrificing
sacrifice.
your time, sacrificing time with the things that you want to do, but I got practice. I got to go to practice, so I can't.
Yeah.
Really just
And
balancing
y'all
out.
kind of have it. Well, like everybody has like their stuff, but like the singer has it a little easier. They just got to bring their self in and ice that.
Literally, we gotta give them a mic so they can like take
Yeah.
it home, bring it back.
But
But it's like there's a lot of things that going on, and especially like with media, like that's what I ramp up if we're really gonna like take it live, and we have to, in terms of media, like keep that to professional standards. Like we have that, make it look good, make the quality good, make the people, and I enjoy it. I enjoy every week about it. Yeah, of course. Like I have days where I'm like I don't want to go. Where like why? I'm like why? But each time I go is like I see through the people. It's like I am, as you said, I am a bridge that connects not just the people in our church, but the people from the outside.
absolutely.
And it's amazing that like
You connect the tables too. You connect the cables too.
I do. Dude,
Literally.
it's crazy to me think of like a lot of people that have come to our church. They're like, "Oh, we saw your Facebook videos," and I'm like, "Yeah." I just like upload. I'm like posting. That's it. Like leave and forget it. And then someone's like, "Is like, yeah, I come to church because the videos on Facebook." And I'm like, I never tell them it's me. Well, I'm like, "Oh, cool. That's actually."
Yeah, we really.
Qué bueno.
Yeah.
Very
Like,
humbling because there's a lot of people that like they're like, yo, like that was me, that was all me, that was all me.
Yeah.
Oh,
Taking all
yeah,
the credit.
no.
Yeah. And I'm like,
What are you doing? Because all I hear
Yeah.
is whispering.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's true, man. And we don't
Yeah.
realize that the work that we put in,
mm-hmm.
it is absolutely worth it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It is worth it because we are not in the same level. Like I know success here at church is not based on how many people we have, right? But it is a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So through the lives that you post, through the music that we sing, through the cafe, all of that conexiones that we have, it is all worth it.
Yeah.
And we take it for granted sometimes.
Yeah, we do.
Man,
We do. I do.
we take it for granted, man. Like,
I take it.
man, like the other day, one of the hermanas came up to us, to me, Melly and I, and she was like, "Thank you. We're happy that we get to see my son being, taught by you guys and everything, and that we just started and we got our first thank you, and that made us feel, warm and fuzzy inside. You know what I mean? So it's just like that motivation to keep going, despite sometimes the disorganization, the mess that there is, in different areas. But it's just a motivation of like, okay, I'm gonna try harder. I'm gonna try something different. The way ganas, and this is not for me. This is for the Lord. This is for the, so the Lord can be exalted through my work.
Mm-hmm. And dude, it's like that, and like I've been blessed about it too. Like I've been blessed, and not money, but like spirituality, like spirit wise, health wise, friends wise, like through all of this, like we all get together. It's funny enough because like it's funny that like how my work schedule really aligns with the church's schedule. And that's like, that's God right there. That's God. Cause like,
God opens doors.
God opens
He
doors.
will make a way. A way. Even though my wife and I, sometimes we have busy schedules, we still manage to come here on Wednesdays. There's that one Wednesday where I just have to work. I can't go. But even then, on my days off and everything, like, we still manage to come in. We still manage to come into practice. There's Thursdays that I miss that I'm not there for practice. But on Sunday, I come up. I practice what I need to practice. And I'm ready for it. I'm prepared for it. But despite our busy schedules, we still put in the effort for the Lord.
Oh, yeah, of course.
And that's what we do.
Yeah, and I feel like since we're talking about like in the worship team and like leaders and stuff like that, I feel like we can serve anywhere, and those aren't really like the specific spots like, oh, okay, I'm gonna join in the worship team so everybody can see me, so everybody can see like that God is using me. It's not like that. God can use you literally anywhere.
Oh, yeah.
So it's not like, oh, I have to be like preaching or have to be a pastor. So everybody, you know, you're not doing it for the people. You're doing it for the Lord and to help others, encouraging others. And we have so many different areas where you can serve, like as in Ujieras, just like cleaning the church, you know, even though sometimes people don't see that, but God sees that. And he sees your heart. He sees that you're trying and that you want to serve him. So
Yeah, you're doing it because you love God and you want to worship Him. You want to serve Him. You know, with all your heart, your mind, and your soul.
Yeah, man.
What's it called?
Develop a new question.
Oh, I was gonna say, well, because like this would be more than an hour, and so I'm gonna just wrap it up. But and then I'm gonna say what I was gonna tell everybody, and we'll just go from there. But the thing that y'all said was that like we don't do it for the glory. We really don't. We just do it because like it's something that, one, we love doing it, and it's serving the Lord. And two, for the people that do it for like the glory, it just reminds me of like the Pharisees. They knew the Bible well, but like as Jesus says, you love me through your lips, but your heart is, I don't know the quote, but it's like the parable of it is just like their heart was somewhere else.
Yeah, they're like
Yeah.
far away
Yeah,
from it. Yeah.
The fig tree.
That's all different. That's
Paulo
it.
had just told me about that a few days ago. That,
Yeah, but it's something that like, I'm sorry for cutting you off. My bad. My ADHD just kicked in. My bad. But yeah, it's just like those Pharisees. They really knew the Bible, but they do it for the glory. They diezmaron like a bunch of like money, but also like their heart was all over the place. So that's something that I'm just like,
Right.
Yeah. Like the Pharisees, right? They were so focused on their outward appearance, like they would just be in the streets praying, like they were like pray, but they were like not a silent prayer, but a loud prayer, an arrogant prayer, more like, Lord, see me, da 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 da, right? So people think that, oh, they're holy, right? But in their hearts, they were doing it because they wanted to have
Attention.
that attention, the image, and you know, we realized that we don't want that because the Pharisees were so focused on that they lost that. You know, they wanted the Messiah in their own terms, in their own ways. But God doesn't work like that. God, you know, the way that Jesus came was different. It was already written in scriptures, but the Pharisees, they ignored that. They were blinded to that, and we have to be careful that we don't be like that as well.
and I'm glad that like for us, like we don't do it for like our glory. Like, oh my goodness, like they're praising me, like especially when there's like kids, they're like, oh, like I want to play the guitar like you. I'm like, no, the day that I'll teach you, you'll be your own guitars. And they're like, what? And they're like, and especially with this Joven, he was like, I just want to be just like you. And I was like, nah, like you really don't know. You don't want to be like me because like the stuff that I went through, I don't want like another Joven to go through what I went through. And like it's something like I'm glad that I was taught humbleness, and especially with all of us, like we take humbleness as like we take it to heart. Basically, like we'll take it to heart and then like understand like, hey, like maybe I am like glorifying this part of my area where I shouldn't be. You know what I mean? And like I'm glad that like we can put ourselves in checks. Like I can come to you, I can come to him, I can come to her, come to you, and like yo, am I in the wrong for this or anything like that? Especially with stuff that I've been through. But all right, well.
Like, you have my phone number, so
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh my goodness.
be my prophet.
Absolutely. Yo, William, he's a moneymaker. He has insurance.
He has health insurance.
He has insurance, so he can definitely provide help.
Your father will be
Mate,
happy.
He has a new,
No,
hey,
he got
has
a
su
new
nuevo
2025
carro del
car.
año.
Sí, carro del
Yeah.
año.
Bro, Peter, like when he dropped that food in your car.
That was so okay. No, I'm not. Well, okay, so what
What are we
happened?
missing?
We went.
When we all went to go eat.
Peter dropped my la grasa se quedó en el asiento.
Oh.
Yeah, from
and-
Sports Zone.
Yeah. And I was so devastated. Like first of all, I don't hate Peter. No. It was like it happened because
Despise Peter.
no.
Never
Like
wanna
Peter,
see
you
it.
watch this? No,
It's on
I
site.
generally didn't like no hard. Like there's no hard feelings. I was like,
You
yeah,
made him walk.
I
Those
was
rock hard feelings.
Go walk.
no, but like,
Get off.
imagine I would have stopped in the street. He's like, get out. No,
Oh
but
no, but wait, your seats are leather, no?
no, they're like
cloth.
The cloth.
Oh my god.
You know that stand's been
Actually-
there forever, bro.
You need seat
No,
covers.
I got it off.
Oh, you did?
Oh,
So
okay.
that, like what I did is I got home. It was midnight, and I stayed. I did 30 to 45 minutes of straight scrubbing it, con downy y otras cosas ahí. Like I just kept doing it until I dried it, and I was like, "Thank the Lord,
Yeah.
God is good."
Dude, you should have just used dish soap.
I did use this.
Oh, okay.
But
you said you was
degreaser.
scrubbing.
I was
like,
scrubbing.
scrubbing.
I was
in
scrubbing because first of all, here's the thing, and it's like it's funny enough because like I kind of make myself fun with this because like if it was my old car, I'm like
Yeah,
whatever.
no
But like
pasa
now
nada.
I get these people like I know you have this. It's like when you have a car, it's yours, and like something it was like my car is too new. Like if it was a
Yeah.
year from now, I was like yeah sure whatever. But like
Now
it's
you're gonna
like,
order
Even
some
if it's a
seat
year, bro, like
no like.
there. Once
dude.
it hits like at least 7 or 8,
Yeah.
that's when
yeah,
I'm just like,
yeah, whatever.
yeah.
But it's like this car is new. Está así. I had a. I was
You
like,
see that? You see that, females? Get his number. I'll put it link in bio.
Lincoln. No, you too. I'm gonna get dudes. I'm
His
like,
phone
yeah.
number is 919.
Somebody dox him. He lives in this address.
What's your Instagram?
He'll put it in the description.
Yeah, I'll put everybody in the description.
Yeah. So
Oh, sponsorship might get you paid.
No, I mean you gotta pay me for me to sponsor y'all. So,
No.
I'm an
So you're just gonna
influencer.
see a hard cut right here. You're just gonna see black right here.
Yeah, there's nobody sitting next to you.
You just hear a voice.
who's that? Definitely not God.
All right, well, we'll wrap it up. And all right, or just say bye. Bye.
Adios.
Bye.
Avizai
Bye.
out.
May the spirit of God. No,
Arrepiéntate.
nah. But if you can't come to church, I'll talk to you like that. But yeah. But
Come to church. Yeah.
Yo, we've been
Go to
trying to
church,
end
read your
this for
Bible.
like 10 minutes now.
Iglesia te,
Just cut the camera.
2291 NC55.
yeah. Iglesia TDE at
East in
YouTube.com
North Carolina.
and Facebook, Instagram.
284.
Hey, if you need to get that TikTok going,
Youth room in the back.
yeah. Follow all our social medias.
Follow us on TDE Youth on
Yeah.
Instagram.
I'll link it down.
Follow us on TD Youth on TikTok as well.
We're on TikTok.
To be determined.